The thing about Noah is that he literally lived through the end of the world. These floods are not just a mythical exaggeration of the kind of thing we see when the rains fall and the rivers burst their banks, not even a mythical exaggeration of something like a tsunami. These waters are the primordial waters of chaos that were there at the very beginning of creation. The world has gone so bad that God is hitting the reset button. If we wanted to translate it into a kind of sci-fi idiom, then we would probably say something like the world was being resolved into its constituent elements, its quantum bits and pieces, and Noah was put into some kind of space bubble, an impermeable space bubble. God, even when the world has gone so bad he must destroy it, God shows his faithfulness because he doesn't destroy it completely. Noah remains. Noah, his family, the animals on the ark, these are the point of continuity between the old world and the new. But God's faithfulness has to be received by human faith. We might think that it was a kind of no-brainer for Noah. It's perish in the flood or get on the ark. I'm not sure it's quite so simple. Once you're on the ark, do you really trust that these few bits of wood are going to hold you firm against these tempestuous waters? Will you really trust your space bubble? Will you have food? Will there be drinkable water? Will the animals break out in a rampage? And will you ever see dry land again? How long is this flood going to last? What is the ark for a life? Noah is a man of faith, and that means, in the Bible, not just believing that God exists. It doesn't even just mean believing the things that God says, believing that in theory the ark will hold out. It means something close to what we call hope as well. It means being willing to abandon yourself to God, trusting him so completely that you're willing to lose your life at his word. In this sense, St. Paul even says that Jesus had faith. Jesus who said, "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit," who abandoned himself to the Father's will. And so when St. Peter looks back at the Noah story, he says it's not the ark that saved Noah. Noah was saved through water. It was through the adversity of the flood, through the terrible things that were going on all around him. This is what gave the occasion for Noah's salvation, because this is what summoned the response of faith. Noah then can be compared to Jesus, who has faith enough in his Father even to step into death, to step into the deep solitude of those who've gone down to the underworld. And it's a step that we take symbolically in our baptism. Not just a washing with water, but water there is a volatile element. The way it was done anciently, the way it's still done in some places, is by a total submersion. When you're baptized, you let yourself be drowned. You let yourself go under with Christ because you trust that he has come up out the other side. He stands on the dry land and he waits for us there. He pulls us out of the water like he pulled Simon Peter, losing his foot on the waves. And this sets up a pattern for our life. Baptism isn't just a symbol, it's a real power. And it enables us to live our lives in this kind of abandonment to God, to live our lives being pulled up into Christ's new life. There will be moments of great decision, moments of crisis in life where we feel this especially, moments when we think that the waters of chaos really are pressing about us because nothing seems to be going right. But Lent is a time when we, like Jesus, go into the wilderness, take it on ourselves to face temptation, loneliness, difficulty, so that at Easter we can feel his new life more powerfully at work in us. Lent is the time when we ask ourselves, is there someone I need to say sorry to? Is there someone, for that matter, I need to forgive? A friendship I've neglected, a broken relationship that needs mending. It's the time when we can ask, is there someone I habitually denigrate, to whom or for whom I can give a good word? Is there some habitual sin, some bad habit, which I've just come to accept, but now could be the time to make a difference? Whether or not, at the end of these 40 days, there's a very visible difference in our lifestyle, whether indeed those efforts at mending relationships, say, pay off, there will have been a spiritual movement. We will have put our faith in some small way in God. And it's only if we do that now spiritually, in our relationships, in our moral habits, in living this life well, that we can hope one day really to be pulled up on the other side, to be raised up in the resurrection. It's now, if we let God's life be at work in us, that this, as Gerard Manley Hopkins put it, this jack, this joke, this poor potsherd, this patch, matchwood and immortal diamond, one day really will be immortal diamond.